Skyhawks. Welcome back to the Skyhawk Talk. I'm your host, Catherine Sweeney, and today I am here with the senior forward on the men's soccer team here at Stonehill, Jared Rapoza.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, thanks for coming on. Okay, let's get right into things. How would you describe Jared off the field?
I'd say I'm pretty similar to where I am on the field. I'm a really competitive person. Like to talk to people, whether that's talk trash or talk to my teammates. It's kind of both sides of the sword there, but really social, really competitive, like being around people, my friends, my family. So I'd say that's how I describe myself.
So, speaking of your family, you're the youngest of four kids. Did that make you more competitive growing up?
That definitely kind of is where I'd say my competitive nature kind of came from. I'm the youngest of four, and I have two middle sisters and an older brother, and kind of 6 year difference between me and my brother. So that aspect of kind of wanting to beat up on him in the yard, whether we played basketball, baseball, soccer, any sport, that kind of competitive nature is really where it came from. And there's a lot of crying, a lot of fights, a lot of screams for mom, a lot of disagreements in the basement. So definitely that's where my kind of strive to be the best came from, I'd say.
Did you guys play soccer growing up?
Yeah, so it was kind of a bit of everything growing up. My whole family, we all kind of dabbled in every sport, whether it was baseball, basketball, soccer. Those are kind of the main ones. I'd play pick up any sport. Kind of just my parents always said that sports teach you life lessons, so they wanted us to be involved in anything possible and anything we were interested in.
If someone spent a day with you outside of soccer, what would they probably find you doing?
I like being active, doing something active, going to the gym, going on a run, hang out with friends. Kind of simple, kind of basic, but that's definitely where I find the most joy in.
Very nice. So you were just saying you grew up playing a lot of sports like baseball, basketball, and of course soccer. So what made soccer the sport that you stuck with?
I think it was a really tough decision, kind of that I had to make a little more early on than I thought I was gonna have to make. It kind of baseball, basketball, and soccer. I played all of them because they're kind of different seasons. So all of them throughout up to high school. I played freshman year basketball, and then I dropped baseball. And it was kind of like recruiting and stuff. Like you kind of get into it a little bit when you get into high school. You start to think about college if you want to play a sport in college, and that aspect of it kind of with my club team, it's a lot of traveling, so basically year round, traveling an hour plus for practices 3 times a week. So it's kind of like you're gonna have to kind of pick something here, and 5'11" on a good day, so basketball wasn't the answer, and I kind of went towards soccer. I'd say it was the sport I was best at, and kind of that being the best at it, and finding the most joy in it was where I definitely grew to.
Did you always play the forward position in
Yeah,
soccer?
always.
Always a
Yeah,
forward.
always wanted to score goals. That was the main motivation. Scoring goals was always what I strived to be when from a young age. It's just something that I found the most fun. So
Do you think playing multiple sports growing up helped shape the way that you compete today in soccer?
absolutely, there's different like baseball slower pace, basketball faster pace, soccer kind of in that middle, kind of even skills you learn in those other sports. Learning with teammates, talking with teammates, competitive nature, like I talked about, it's just all things that can combine together and things that I still use from other sports for soccer today.
So, when you first visited Stonehill, what stood out to you the most, either about the campus, the vibe of the environment, or the team itself?
I'd say for the team, what stood out to me is kind of the close knit group they already had here, and kind of honesty and openness of the coaching staff. When I talked to our head coach, he kind of was like, "If you have any questions about playing time, where you stand, like I'm here. You can ask me. You can come look at my whiteboard. I have the depth chart, kind of. So that aspect of being open and not being like promising playing time, and him then going back on it. So it's kind of really nice to hear that part of things. And then obviously it's a beautiful campus, kind of walking around. My mom definitely loved it, and it was kind of the community feel that I felt when I went to Commons on my visit with the team and kind of everyone, big groups of people sitting, getting dinner together, kind of that aspect, something that really stood out to me.
What was your first impressions of the Comets food when you went with the
Oh,
team?
I was loving the chocolate milk dispensary. That was my I was like, oh my gosh, they have chocolate milk here every day. That was what stood out to me, and then commons is common. So
Commons is the
yeah.
Commons. You know what I miss about the Commons though is the sushi.
Sushi. I
It was
wish I
so
got
good.
into it, but I've only gotten into sushi recently, so I was never
What?
touching the old sushi, but I'm upset about it now.
Yeah, it was the best thing the Commons had our freshman
My friends
year.
would always say that, like, always come out with the sushi, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? They're like, it's actually really good.
Yeah, it was literally the best food, and then they switched up on us with the food providers, and now no more sushi, and I'm sad about it. Anyways, how important was the connection with the coaches and the players when making your decision? I know you were just saying they were very open and honest about communication and where you stood.
Yeah, it was definitely big for me. There was a junior captain when I was committed that was also reached out to all the freshmen. Was any questions, whether it's you think it's a dumb question, you don't want to ask the coaches, ask me. So that really stood out to me too. And also coming into Stonehill, one of my friends, Alex Kuzmich, actually already committed right before me. And then one of my other friends, Hog, ended up committing right after me. So it's kind of like going in knowing someone, I know how he is, I know he's a good player, I know, and I we kind of had a almost a Massachusetts recruiting class, so we kind of played against, knew of all the people coming in hearing that and knowing the kids and their skill and how they were as people was definitely something that attracted me.
Looking back now as a senior, what made Stonehill the right fit for you? Maybe outside of you already knew a couple people going into it.
I'd say what I've kind of stressed about a bit so far is the people. Honestly, it's you meet a lot of people who are your friends. You meet other student athletes. You meet people who you just live across the hall with, and then you end up being friends with them. And like walking on campus, you say hi to people, and everyone seems happy and excited, and kind of that community feel that everyone kind of says, and it's a bit cliche, but I'd say it's definitely true here.
So I wanted to highlight a really big game that you guys had this past season against Merrimack. You guys scored with 1 second left in the game. Take me through that moment.
Yeah, so that was crazy. It was a bit of a extra personal game. Our assistant coach used to coach at Merrimack, so he
Really?
wanted it a bit more. He had a little extra intensity for that game, which was nice. And we actually hadn't beat Merrimack in 40 plus years since because we used to be in their conference, and then they moved to the MAC. But that was a crazy game, night game at Merrimack. They score early on, we get one back, and then they score on one of our mistakes, kind of unlucky from us. They score a goal, and then there's about 15 minutes left, and a sophomore on our team, James, scores a bicycle kick.
No way.
Yeah.
That's the one where you're like flying
Mm-hmm.
backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
flipping in the air, scores a goal. Everyone went crazy. It's 2-2. And then actually, like, it was like 15 seconds left. They have a free kick at half going into our half. And so it's kind of like, all right, like, let's defend this. Let's not get scored on. Like, that's the last thing we want. Like, the tie is okay. Like, we're not too upset about it. So then they kick it off, and they kind of had everyone in the box ready to score. And we clear it, and it comes to me. I kick it to I think it was Shane, and then you see on the video. I've never seen. I've played with hog soccer for about like 6 or 7 years of my life, and I've never seen him run that fast. He's screaming 90th minute after playing the whole game, screaming, running down the field, asking for the ball. He gets it, and I'm on the other side, also waving my hands, screaming for the ball. He looks up, crosses it, tap it in, and the boys go crazy. It was one of the best games I've ever been a part of. So
I was gonna say, where does that rank in your soccer career?
I'd say one. Like it's up there with some games we had junior year that were really good games, and then some club games, some high school games. But that kind of the meaning it had behind it, everyone wanted it. We kind of have this rivalry with Merrimack, and that's definitely up there. I'd probably say one for me.
That's so
Yeah.
sick. Okay, so wanna take a little bit of a different route now. You had a shoulder injury your sophomore year.
Mhm.
What happened?
So it was in the spring, kind of early on in the spring. Is when it really started bothering me. And it's in the spring we go a lot heavier with lifting and conditioning and that type of stuff. So I was benching one day and I tweaked it a little and I was like, oh, this is just uncomfortable. And then of course, like 2 days later at practice, I trip, I get like tangled up with someone and fall right on it. And
Oh,
it was just like from that point it didn't feel good. It was just kept bothering me. I saw a specialist and they were like, yeah, we think something's wrong. Got an MRI and an X-ray. They said there's a tear in your labrum and there's a tear in your rotator cuff.
oh
And
God.
yeah, so I got surgery with that and it wasn't too bad of a recovery. I mean, it's a pretty common surgery. You see a lot of people having the similar brace for it. So went through that, and then I was kind of just felt behind on everything because everyone's practicing every day. Like I can do anything for about 6 weeks, and then I could slowly ramp it back up and kind of doing PT, working through it. It was definitely something that I wouldn't want to go through again, but it definitely built some character, kind of you miss the game, you don't take it for granted after having to be out for a couple months and all your friends, all your teammates are still in the midst of things. So kind of working back through that and then eventually it leads up to the summer and I was like the summer's kind of where we do our kind of solo conditioning, all that stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna have to try to gain some ground here. So that summer it was the hardest working summer I've ever had, just running every day and then coming into junior year as best as I could.
Did going through that injury change how you approach the game?
Yeah, I'd definitely say just not to take it for granted. I mean, at any moment, like there's ACL injuries, there's surgeries, there's broken ankles that can keep you out for a whole season. I mean, the season's 2, 3 months, so a serious or like even an injury halfway through the season, it could end your season. So kind of just playing like it could be my last game is kind of how I looked
Yeah.
at it.
I've noticed that that is such a common theme with a lot of athletes that I've interviewed, even athletes who haven't had an injury like you did and had surgery. All of them are like, play like it's your last because
Mhm.
you never know what could happen.
Exactly.
So I want to talk about your team a little bit. How would you describe the culture of Stonehill men's soccer to someone who was thinking about joining the program?
I'd say it's definitely a tight knit group. Like we like to hang out, we like to have fun together, kind of that aspect of things. And then when we get on the field, it's serious, it's competitive, it's that serious competitive nature that you want with a team that everyone wants to be there, everyone wants to get better, everyone wants to achieve what we can as a team.
Mhm.
And then we also have the aspect of hanging out with your friends, like having some fun, like that kind of combination and balance is something I think we do really well.
What do you think makes your class specifically so special?
So we were the first Division 1 class,
Mhm.
and we have a lot of guys in our class who are valuable members to the team, obviously, who get a lot of minutes, who produce for us. So I think we have it's a bit of our coaching, so it's a bit of a special class, kind of the first D1 class. We came in with 10 or 11 guys, so big class, and kind of most of us being from the Mass area. Like, you go through our starting lineup, it's, "Oh, this Massachusetts," and then you go through theirs, and it's Latvia, Germany, and wherever. So it's kind of like a little special kind of edge and chip on our shoulder we have with that, and just our close-knit group we have. We live together, we kinda hang out together and all that, so
Was there a specific moment where you felt like you guys all came together?
I'd say at the start of kind of this year, it was kind of like, let's get on the same page. Like we're seniors now, people are gonna look to us. We're leaders of the team, so kind of just getting on the same page with achieving a goal of winning as many games, making playoffs, all those types of things. So I'd say at the start of this year, kind of realizing that this is the last one, kind of got us on the same page.
Special.
Yeah.
So you describe yourself as driven and very competitive. Where does that mindset come from? Is it from your older siblings? Is it some for something else?
I'd definitely say my family, my parents. My dad's a small business owner and my mom works there as well. And seeing him kind of put in the 12-hour days, the weekend hours, the travel, all that type of stuff is like I've learned a lot from him growing up in sports. He was my baseball coach. He always had something to say after the basketball games when I didn't want to hear it, but I'm glad he said it now. And then leading by example with my brothers and my sisters, seeing that same type of that drive, that competitiveness, that want to be the best and be successful in things that you do and not half-ass things is kind of where I've gotten all that from.
So you have very hardworking role models in
Yes,
your life.
definitely, definitely.
How much does being part of a team push you to be better every day?
I think a lot. A part of the team, it's kind of like you don't want to let anyone down. that aspect of putting your best foot forward and also realizing that if you put your best foot forward, the guy next to you is probably gonna do the same thing is what really pushes me. And that kind of once you're a close-knit group and your friends on and off the field, you don't want to let those guys down. You want to do the best you can, whether it's take a back seat in the role you're playing, whether it's come off the bench, whether it's start and run your butt off for 30 minutes and get subbed out. Like it's kind of anything you want to do, anything it takes to win. So
If a game isn't necessarily going your way, what helps you reset?
yeah, I'd say just taking a moment. I mean, it's a lot of when if your game's not going your way, there's a lot of hostility kind of in the team, and that's like everyone wants to win. Everyone's competitive, so
Yeah.
it's completely fair. But like, kind of taking a breath, maybe getting people on the same page, and kind of locking in that mindset of, all right, this game we might be down big, it might not be going our way, but let's work on things that we can use for our next conference game, another important game, or something like that.
Always move forward.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I have some rapid fire questions for you now. Don't even think, just the first thing that comes to your head, say it. Ready? All right. Favorite professional soccer team?
Chelsea.
Favorite soccer player growing up?
Ooh, I'd say Eden Hazard.
Favorite soccer player now?
Cole Palmer.
Pre-game meal?
I like to eat really light, so I'll go like a banana and a protein bar.
Pre-game music?
Oh, that's definitely some calming, either R&B, Drake, or even like some sad music. So yeah,
Sad
so
music.
it calms me down. I got the Olivia Rodrigo going. I got whatever going.
Hardest field to play on?
LIU for sure.
Best road trip?
I'd say my freshman year, Minnesota, we won our first D1 game.
Minnesota. Were you
Yes.
in Minnesota?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we stayed right next to the Mall of America. So we got to
Ooh.
visit the Mall of America, went to a Twins game. So that was our first D1 win against St. Thomas University in Minnesota. And that was kind of a crazy whirlwind of a game. It was a 2-1 game and it was crazy. And then after like taking a picture in front of the scoreboard, everyone's excited, all that joy, all that work paying off for your first win was definitely special.
So you are a finance and economics student. What drew you to that path?
I'd say my family as well,
Yeah.
kind of my dad being in the business world and my mom an accountant, so that kind of aspect of things. And now I've kind of searched a little in the sales field, kind of talking to people, building relationships is something that I'd be interested in. And with finance being a broad major, which I've heard a lot about, like coming in, I was like, I don't really know too much about what I want to do. Like, what's a good broad major to have? And finance was a lot of the feedback I got, so that's kind of where I went to.
Do you know specifically what you want to do post grad? Just the
Uh,
finance route?
yeah, like finance, tech sales, SaaS sales, that type of thing.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Do you think being an athlete has helped shape how you approach your future career?
100%, and I definitely like to milk it a bit and use it in networking and in interviews. It's kind of a major people look for it because it shows time management, it shows competitiveness, it
Yeah.
shows a lot of different types of things that you can apply right to your career. So kind of using that competitiveness, like I said, in managing different people as a leader and as a part of a team, like that aspect of things is definitely what I think I will use, and a lot of people look for when they're going to hire someone.
What does the perfect off day look like for you?
Oh, so we're waking up pretty early. We're an 8 a.m. wake up, quick breakfast, nice and light, and go to the gym. And then it's gonna be the summer. So then we're gonna have like a 10 o'clock tea time. And then we're gonna play 18, take a nap, and then go get some drinks with the guys after.
Very
Yeah.
nice. But specifically in the summer.
Oh, 100%.
What about in the winter?
In the winter, wake up, probably go to the gym, and then get something productive done. We're not sure what, and then raw and watch a bunch of movies.
Write and watch a
Yeah.
bunch of movies. What's your favorite movie?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right. So looking back on your time here, how do you think you've grown the most?
I definitely say as a member of a team and in certain aspects of leadership roles, kind of in communication, I've really grown being a part of the team. So there's a lot of different personalities, different ages of people. You have 23-year-olds to 18-year-olds. So it's a big kind of gap, and people react different ways to different communication styles. So kind of finding what works with certain people's, because some people you can get on them hard and like be strict and be kind of angry, and they'll react. They'll take it positively, and some people you do that and they shut down. So kind of finding those people, which it's perfectly okay that people react different ways, but finding those people where that can take the tough criticism, and some people where you have to be kind of spinning a little to make it more positive is kind of something that I've really tried to work on and focus on.
What does wearing Stonehill across your chest mean to you now as a senior?
Oh, it means a lot looking back on everything. It's You don't really realize it when in the midst of the seasons and the grinding and the training and the springs and the summers, but now it's you kind of look at it with a sense of pride that you played 4 years and you represent the Stonehill.
What are you most excited for next in the next chapter after Stonehill?
I'd say definitely kind of my work career, kind of seeing where that takes me, and also, of course, being in any men's league possible that they have out there. I'll do soccer, I'll do baseball, I'll do basketball, kind of staying active, keeping that kind of competitive nature inside of me and keeping me entertained. So those are things I'm definitely looking forward to.
Very
Yeah.
nice. My last question for you. What is one piece of advice you would want to give your freshman year self?
I'd say I talked a bit about it, but don't take it for granted. I mean, everyone always says that, and you look back on it and realize maybe you did. Maybe you were complaining about this practice, this team event you had to go to, this 12-hour travel day you had, and kind of finding joy in the gritty and the determined moments that you had that at the time might have not seemed so fun, and then you look back on it and you wouldn't trade it for the world. So kind of looking through that lens of now 4 years removed from a freshman, it's a lot different, and I definitely tell my freshman year self that.
Very nice. Now it's done. Now we're done. Now we're seniors and that's it.
I
We're
know.
graduating.
We're old now.
That's
Retired
horrible.
athletes. Yeah.
Well, Jared, thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
podcast
you for having
today.
me.
Of course. And thank you guys for watching. We will see you in the next one.